All right, welcome everyone. This is a Viper Professional Training and Support webinar. Today's date is Monday, April the 16th, 2018. This is a Monday night webinar, and the title of tonight's webinar is Art 101, Draw on Your Charts. And as everyone knows that's been to our webinars or our live trading room, everything that we say and do at Viper Trading Systems is for educational purposes only. Futures trading, Forex trading, any kind of financial instruments trading involves risk. Therefore, there's always risk of loss. You should only trade discretionary capital, and that is money that you can afford to lose. Nothing said in this webinar. Other webinars we might have, our live trading room or anything else with Viper Trading Systems, should never be construed as trading or investment advice. And as always, everyone does trade at their own sole discretion. Any questions on the disclaimer? All right, if not, we're going to go ahead and get started. Yes, I'm going to do that too, Paul, during the webinar. Paul's asking if we can show how to set up the object creator to scalp, a little template, and I'll do that. Just remind me in about the next 15 minutes. All right, several people asking that. Okay, yeah. Let's go ahead and get started here. Bear with me a second. First of all, last week we talked quite a bit about identified lightning. So, little test right in front of you here. How many identified lightning trades are on this chart, and how many are long and how many are short? Anybody? You want to take a guess and a gander at it? See if you can get it? I'll go ahead and start drawing some boxes. Let's go ahead and start drawing some boxes. By the way, you like my new cursor? Is that a little bit bigger? I went ahead and got some new cursors today. Some people were saying that it was a little difficult to see it. Okay, let's see. You've got some that say 4 long, 3 short, 3 long, 3 short. Okay, let's go ahead and draw it. Let's go ahead and draw. Right, there's one. Okay, this one's a little trickier, but here's one here. And of course, you could actually, technically, you could also even take it when it goes across here, but those are so close to me, that's just one. Okay, see that? So 3 is the correct to the upside. And how many to the downside? Well, basically had 1. Right? You had another one right here. This is a little bit smaller. And then you had 1 more here. But I'll bet some of you missed the next trade, because see, there's 3 up, 3 down, and 1 more long. Everybody see that? See where it's actually basically breaking the swing, your lightning swing. Now what we're looking at here is actually more like lightning 3. So naturally you would have some areas, obviously, that you could more than likely box in down in here. That's why we have those mid-band trades, because you'd probably have a consolidation patch of candles, and you'd box it in, you take the trade. You'd have another consolidation down through here, another one through here, another one like even up here. I didn't get my little, there it is, okay. I just got these new cursors a little while ago, so. See something like that even, right? Because this is lightning 3, so obviously you're going to have some consolidation of candles and things, and when it starts stair-stepping back up, you take the trade. So we're looking for these retracement trades. Now, if you're looking for breakout trades, you would obviously take the break above there, the break above there, the break above here. Everybody see that? And then you would take to the downside, and I'll go ahead and change these colors on here so you'll know that they're actually to the downside. Let's go ahead and use like an orange red, that's fine. All right, it'd be something like this, right? Let's see, this one's actually the same spot. So we're just going to go ahead and put a red one here also, because that's actually where it would be. Right, everybody see that? And then of course you've got your green one again right in through here, but I won't draw that right now. Okay, now when we're drawing on our charts, that's basically what we're doing. We're looking at these a little bit more pronounced swings. Okay, and if you draw in your charts, you're going to see these areas that will give you some great trades. So with this diagnosis in mind of what you're seeing so far, I'm going to bring up a chart. Don't pull yours up. I don't want you to, well, we won't call it cheating, but yeah, call it cheating. Don't pull yours up. Okay, let me show you a chart here. All right, so where would a trade be on this chart? Anybody? It looks kind of like we double top. That's correct. Somebody said that. So basically, wouldn't you be looking for either a consolidation patch to go up, or if it was to actually break down, you could actually take the little breakdown too, because you do at this very instance have a high, a low, a lower high than this one, and it could actually break down. Okay, everybody see that? That's why it's so important to draw in your charts, because you'll notice here, let me get rid of lightning 4. We don't really need it as much. All right. Notice lightning 3, you have, let's just pretend this doesn't even exist over here. So you have a high, you have a low, you have a higher high. So you actually, got to that top, right? Okay. But notice that it did kind of hit its head here. And so you're actually looking for either a box in trade to go up, or very possibly a box in trade to go down even. Everybody see that? Now we don't have the colors on the chart and everything, but let's look at the actual chart and let's see if we can figure it out even further. Bear with it a second. By the way, y'all did real good on picking those trades. Oh, here we go. Chart. So if you draw on your chart, that's support right there, right? That's absolutely support. So let's go ahead and draw a line there. And we're also going to draw a line. You've got resistance right across here. See it? Thrust, retrace. You've got resistance across here. Like so. Everybody see that? So wouldn't that be pretty much what you'd box that in? At least for right now, because we don't know what it's going to do yet. Okay? If this starts stair-stepping like a low, a little higher, and a higher low, and starts popping up, we might even get in above this right here. Okay? But you've got to be careful just boxing in this tight. Okay? If you do that, then make sure that you wait either for the close of the bar or realize that your resistance is right there to begin with. So, that's not what I consider, a very, very good trade. If it breaks above here, obviously it will be a good trade. Everybody see that? Okay, let's go into how to set up the template for a scalp first off, okay? Because everybody was kind of asking that earlier, and I'll be happy to show that. Let's see, do your lines come from first prior swings or further back also? Well, Robert, on your question, we've actually got guidance built into these charts with a 4 range bar, 15 swing strength. That's lightning 3. Then we have lightning 4, which is actually a 12 range chart, 5 swing strength. So, that's a lot stronger, type of a swing. So we're not really looking at that one as much. Basically, if you looked at lightning 4, let's see if we can find, here's lightning 4 right here. See, that's huge. Okay. If this was to go up, you could easily have another lightning 4 way up here or even higher, because it's looking at, a 12 range chart. It's not looking at this little 4 range. This is actually the really, really big swings here. That's that meter right there. Okay. But what we're looking at, and you'll find this happens quite often, is when these little areas like this are broken, or this is broken to the upside, you're going to get a trade. Okay. Now, we don't know which way it's going to be just yet because it's right at support, so it may bounce. We'll find out. So let me show everybody how to do the template, because I don't think we've gone over that before. So I'm going to go to strategies. All right, we're going to go to Object Trader for our strategy. And what you want to do if you want to set up a template, first off, you want to actually set everything the way you like it. For instance, if you want to show your account, just go ahead and set it at true. If you want to do anything else as far as changing anything in here, do that before you save it. Okay. And then let's say that we wanted to scalp to give an example. Now, rather than just going for like 8 ticks with like 3 contracts, couldn't you do this instead? You could go like 7, 8, maybe 10, something like that. That would be a good scalp, right? And then if you did a 4th contract, it would be going for 10, but this would, or pardon me, for 40, that would be a runner. Okay, but let's just say we're going to just scalp 3 contracts. You can do it just like this. All right, then you want to set your stop. Probably if you're going to scalp, I wouldn't go for 15 tick stop because you're only trying to get 7, 8, and 10. So a 15 tick stop on 3 contracts is 45 ticks, and you're only trying to get 25. So that's a little out of kilter, isn't it? So I'd probably put my stop more than likely at 10 because we want to make sure we get in a trade at the right spot and that it goes our direction. Okay? That way we're only risking 30 to try to make 25. And more than likely, you know, you're going to get some decent scalps like that. Okay? Now, once you've set your scalp the way you like it, you just simply go down here to your template. And of course, you can put in how many contracts you want to do. You know, if you want to start with 3 on a scalp, you certainly could, or you can just do it 1 at a time. Okay? If you do it a quantity of like 3 to give an example, then that's going to actually show up in Object Trader as 3, and you would just simply go in with all 3 at once, and you'd have all 3 of your targets set. Okay? And then, oh yeah, we put resistance on top too, absolutely. Talking about another question there. So when you get it set the way you like it, just simply go down here to your template, and you're going to save it. Okay? And I'll just call this one Scalp, like that. Okay? Now, when I save that and load it on my chart, you'll notice that it comes up with 7, 8, and 10. Okay? And notice that the quantity is at 3 already. Okay? So let's see, we got 7, 8, and 10. That would be 25. So basically that'd be a $125 trade, right? Okay, because you're going to get all 3 targets, or we'll get stopped out, obviously. That could happen too. Okay, so that's the way you set up a scalp. And if you reload Object Trader, you know, take this one off and reload it, it's going to automatically go back to a non-template, and you'll be back to where you have your normal settings. See there, where I've got my 10, 20, 30, and 40. So a template, though, to load it, you just simply go down to your template, load, down arrow, and there's my little scalp. Okay, that's going to do my 7, 8, and 10. It's that easy. Oh yeah, that's gold. That's right, $250 on gold. I was thinking about YM. Sorry about that. Okay, so that's a $250 trade. You want to try it out and see if it works on scalp? We'll just find out real quick. All right, I'll go ahead and put this on. We'll put it long, short. I like to usually use like a touch plus 2 or even 3. We'll do a region. All right, I'm gonna have to break this to go long on it because that's resistance right there. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to actually take it, if it just takes this little swing out right here. Okay, but this is resistance, so a lot of times they'll kind of take it out, pull back a little bit, and then take it out. So let's see what it actually gets. We'll get one of them. We're at touch plus 2. Touch plus 2 means that it has to break out of this by 2 ticks and confirm it with a 3rd tick. Okay? Or if it breaks out the bottom, it's got to break it by 2 ticks outside. Now, you can even use ticks inside if you want to also. You know, for instance, if I wanted to actually take this trade here instead, I can actually change this to short inside, touch plus 2, and it would fire right in through here. Now, that wouldn't be smart on this one because this looks like it's going to either break up or it's going to break down. Red bars below mid-band, we'll see what it does. Okay, so I'm going to do a touch +2, but I'm going to do the outside. Okay, let's see what we get. Y'all like this little cursor better? Can you see it better? I bought several of them, so we'll try different ones out. See what we get here. Now, if we get a wick, we'll go ahead and tighten our box. See, we're getting a little bit of a wick, so we can actually go tightening our box if we want to. You see that much better, Mindy? Yeah, I picked that cyan one because it's not any of the colors we use on our chart, so it should work out pretty good. Everybody see how to set your scalp up on your object trader? Now, here's something else you could do too if you want to. You can actually do a, let me pause this just a second. I'm going to show you how to do a scalp and get another type of trade also. Let me get one more chart up here. Bear with me one second. We'll go with gold. I'm not up this time of night, but it's not a bad time to trade. I know some of our people do. Let's get this one up also. Now, normally you don't just go ahead and trade both of them, but here's what you could actually do if you wanted to. You could actually do a non-scalp on this one here, you know, for instance, just do like, you know, where we've got just one contract at a time. We can actually set up our region, set it for a couple of contracts, and or even say 3 and go for a runner instead. You know, something like this, maybe 12, something like that, and then go for a runner at 30, set it up, and be a little bit more conservative on this one. We can actually wait for it to close above that resistance. So let's hit our little box and our little box over here, like so. And let's see which one of them gets trade. Now, this one's only going to scalp, so you're going to get 7, 8, and 10 if it even fires. Okay, if it fires up, we'll see if we can scalp it to the upside. My replay data, I get that from marketreplay.net. They used to actually be $150 for a lifetime, but nowadays they're actually $150 for a year. I've got their lifetime, so you know I paid them one time and I've got it. Now, if you scalp, just leave your scalp intact. Okay, don't go, you know, taking it out. Now, I would put this at exit on close just in case, because you got a wick right there. 10 ticks is pretty tight. Okay, normally I would back mine off just a little bit. See that wick right there? I don't like that because they'll usually wick it, so I'm going to put it at resistance. That's 12 ticks instead. And let's see what we get. Now we're feeling a little bit of heat with, especially with 6 contracts. We're down like $300. But it did fire it, so let's see what it does here. I'll go ahead and fast forward this and see if we get something. That's one thing about breakout trades. You will hardly ever get a breakout trade that you don't feel a little bit of heat. But it did break, so technically you have a high, you have a low, you have a lower high barely, and a lower low. So this might break down because that is actually, you know, the way they do. They'll take out the support by a tick or so, even a couple, and then they'll roll over and give you a decent trade. Stealth's also telling us pretty good too. There we go. Felt some heat on that one though. 6 contracts, you're going to feel heat though. So I'm not advising actually doing 6 contracts, by the way. I just want to show you how you can actually do a scalp one and a non-scalp one if you want to. Now, that's going to get us probably. Just kissed resistance, just like I thought it would. So we're still okay. See how it kissed resistance within a tick or so? There you go. Just got you a scalp. Okay. Now notice that your scalp, by the way, was just 7, 8, and 10. So you're done with that trade. Okay. So you'd have to wait for another opportunity to scalp. And that would be on a retrace. Okay, now your runner is still intact. I'm going to go ahead and tighten my stop on my runner. I got 2 runners on this one right now because it's actually shooting for 12, and then we'll just let it run. Okay, so this one, we're going to wait for a little retrace and see if we can get in another scalp. I got this going fairly quick, so let me see where it should go to. I'd like for it to at least go to stealth. If it goes to stealth, I'll fire it one more time. But it's got to touch stealth. It's not doing it, so we'll wait. It might. I'll just turn on bar close if it touches stealth. I don't turn it on yet, though, because you want it to retrace some. I'd like for it to retrace right back to here where it broke down. That would be the best spot for it. But when they drop that quickly, they don't always do that. But this stealth right here is another good one, too. And always look to the left to trade the right. Draw on your charts. There's another swing right across here. And there's stealth right there. Gets up and touches stealth and rolls over. I'll turn on bar close. That almost touched stealth. Go up a little higher. I'd like that even better. There, it touched stealth. So we're going to be okay. See, technically, you could even take this trade on a break. There's your little trade right there. I'm going to tighten that just in case. Okay, now we're going for a scalp on this side again, right here. And we'll see if we can get a scalp. We're still in our runner over on this side, right? We haven't added anything because we're just in a runner. And what I personally like to do, looking to the left to trade the right, I always look like this. I want to see where this could go. This is a huge up move, okay? So if they get anything higher than this right here, this could easily still head back up again, right? So what I'd be doing would be drawing some lines on my chart to see where we want to take out. There's a swing right across there. We want to take that out. Everybody see that? We want to take that one out. And then to stay in this trade, you can actually turn this on. If we'll go ahead and get a red power meter again, we can go ahead and turn this back on. There you go. Now let's see if we can take this out first. Decent. Since we've only got one, we can't really take it out yet. We'll put our stop right here at the swing. This is where you would draw on your chart, by the way, in your mind even. See that swing right there? That's your lightning identified swing. So if they're going to head up at all, they're going to have to take that out. But we're in a short, so we're simply looking to take this off the table if it does come up that high. Okay, if it keeps rolling over, we'll just keep riding the trade. I guess we got our scalp over here too, see it? Not a bad little trade so far, huh? You want to try it again if we get a kiss of resistance? Thrust retrace. That's a little lightning right there at 46.90. Let's see if we can get something there. It's just trying to go to that previous swing is all it's trying to do. So I'm going to go ahead and take it if it rolls over. Okay, it rolled over. Everybody see that where it kissed that resistance there instead of my other one? Now watch it kiss the other one instead. We'll see. That's a good resistance kiss though. So let's see if it works. Feeling a little bit of heat on it, but we're up pretty nicely. See that resistance? Let's see if that was a new short, where would the stop be? Well, your stop, what we did is we put a 10-tick stop on it. But let me show you what I look at personally. All right, for one thing, we are heading down, right? Let me draw your lightning, and you'll see that we're actually heading down. I'll draw lightning too. Okay, so we've got resistance right there. We got resistance right here also. See it right across here? Now, I would probably personally put my stop above this little line here, simply because this resistance should hold, and it is holding, so we're okay. See how if you draw on your charts, it held that? Now I'm going to go ahead and protect it. See, because now that it's starting to head down and I got a good bar down, I'm going to go ahead and protect it just in case. Okay. Now this is our scalp again, so we're just going for 7, 8, and 10. And keep in mind, you can always move your targets on Object Trader. I mean, we don't have to let this just go out of the scalp, because obviously at a scalp, we're only going to get $250 per trade that we do, right? Let's look at our other side. And we're still in this one. We've got our stop just above the swing until it identifies another one. Now watch when it identifies, because that's what I was showing you earlier that's so important on your trading. See, there's your identified swing. Basically, I think it's right across here still, because see, this hadn't taken out the low. Now, will it? We don't know. If it does, this is going to be your swing right here. And you would simply move your stop once it takes it out. Not yet. Not yet. Still not yet. It's got to take this out first. It may kiss resistance again. We'll find out. If you get a lower high, it'll go ahead and take it out. Now, I don't usually put my stop this tight if I've only got one left. Now, with 3 or 4, you probably want to put your stop a little tighter like that, because, you know, we're not feeling any heat on this one. Well, we are now. But see how it's going from red to white? That means it's going to break even. Now it's in the green. Now it's in the white. That's telling you that, see, we're break even. We're red. We're break even. We're red. See, so it's just, you know, meandering around. We'll see if this bar closes down. And by the way, you could tighten that. You know, if you really feel like, you know what, this could actually be a double bottom, you could tighten it just like this, right on top of that swing, exit on close. Okay? Because with exit on close, that means it has to close above that swing before it's going to get me. Their algorithms are tuned totally around this stuff. I mean, if you look at that little chart that I showed you at first, that's the same thing. It's just on a smaller scale. You know, we were looking at Lightning 3, but this is the same type of trading that we're doing right now. We're looking at swings. See, we're back in, still a little bit in the red, not much. Now we're white again, red again. Let's just speed it up. Not quite green yet, still. There's, nope, still red, green, nope, white. There you green, finally got green. There you got your scalp. Okay? And like I said, you can move that third target if you want to. You know, on your scalp is not a problem at all. You can do that anytime you want to. Okay? So what I would do personally now is watch this side. See, we don't have another trade here yet. Okay? This is not what I consider a decent trade. See how this one thrust way down and came back? This one's too close. That wouldn't give me enough. Now, if this was to come up to like here, I'd probably take it. But it's got to give me at least those 7, 8, 10 ticks. And right now, resistance is right here. So that doesn't look like a 10-tick trade to me. And by the way, on your runner, notice that they took this out. Put your stop right there, exit on close. See how easy this can be if you just learn to see those swings and draw on your charts? It doesn't make it too hard at all to actually do. Let's speed this up a little bit and let's see. Now, if we get a a green power meter, you could go ahead and take this trade off the table. I haven't got it yet, though. Always look at your lightning, because like right now, to give an example, if they take out this little swing here, this is going to go, well, this one might not, because this is lightning 2. You need 2 bars up and 2 bars down for lightning 2 to draw, and that's only 1 bar consolidating. So let's see what we get. There you go. All right, notice how your lightning's right here now. Go ahead and bring your stop down to there. Now, one thing I want to mention too, for y'all that are a little bit more of an aggressive trader, if you looked at this diagram that I just did earlier, notice that that was an uptrend, right? But when did it become a downtrend? Well, it had a high, a low, and a lower high, so it broke, right? This would have more than likely been like mid-band or close to it, I'm sure, and you could have boxed it in, you know, because they're constantly going from longs to shorts. Where would this actually technically be what I'd consider a scalp long? Anybody? It'd have to break that resistance. Right now, it's still stair-stepping down. You're not looking for longs. But if it does decide, see that predictor down here? They bounce off these a lot. So let's see if we get anything here. I'll do a, let's see. This is still an uptrend, by the way, on the larger side. I haven't taken out the low yet. That's where I draw my line. If they take this out, this thing could really head down big time. But who wants to bet that they don't? Because what do they normally do, everyone? You know, they'll do these huge thrusts. They'll do a retrace. That's probably about a 50% retrace. This is probably going to be a 38% retrace. Let's look and see if it is. See, that was 50. I could tell that just by looking at it. Now, they're trying to get down to 50 again. But if they pop back like above 38, to give an example, could they head this thing back up? And the answer is actually yes, they could. But what you can do, because we've got a red background and everything, I want to show you how to scalp this if this does do what we think it's going to do. Now, if it goes ahead and keeps breaking down, we're still in the trade. We're good to go. Notice that we're still in this one down here on our runner. But what you can actually do, see that swing right there? If they take that swing out to the upside, that would mean this would turn green. So could we actually see if we could scalp it? Well, we may not get the trade, but you could do this. If that actually does, PM1 or PM2? PM2 would probably be better, because that's PM2 right there. Let's see what it does. Resistance is right there where my line's at. That's where my stop's at on my one runner. We're still okay. If it takes out the low, by the way, we're going to bring our stop down even further. Like that. See there? Lightning swing. We're stair-stepping down, aren't we? Now, what would it take to stair-step back up? Well, you'd have to have a low, a high, a higher low, and a higher high. Or if they take this out to the left, it would do it also. Bounced right off predictor too. Higher low than down here. This would be our scalp right here if this breaks. It hadn't broken yet. Oh, that's my fib, sorry. I need to draw a line right there. Okay, so you have a low, you have a high, you have a higher low so far, hasn't taken out the low at the bottom yet. So you have a low, a high, a higher low, and if you do get a higher high, that will actually trigger that. That'll turn green unless it rolls over. It looks like we're going to get stopped out. We did. And we got a scalp. Not yet, but we've got a scalp working. Now, let me ask a quick question. Now, I realize that was more aggressive, but what you're looking at on these charts is this exact same thing at all times. You're looking at this configuration, up, and then start stair-stepping down. Okay? How long will it stair-step down? Well, you don't know until you actually see, for instance, let's look to the left to trade the right. I would personally think that this would come right about in this area right here, like a phantom type trade, and probably roll over because it hadn't checked it yet. But see how that actually did a beautiful scalp on there? And what you can do, by the way, as long as this background's red, now if this background turns green at all, we're not going to do it. Okay? But could you box this in right here like we teach? I'm going to buy it right there. See, it bounced off a mid-band, but I'm going to put a very tight stop on it. Like so. That's the kind of trade we take in the room. See there? Just got a trade too. It just hit its head at resistance though. I'd put my stop. Let's draw it with lightning. If you get a higher low and take out that high, you'd always put your stop underneath here, but it has to really take out that high first. It's trying. It's wicked it. Not yet. Got to close above. That's good enough right there. It just hit resistance. Okay? Everybody see how something like this can work? Now keep in mind also that when you're trading on your charts each and every day, you got to realize that for everybody that's buying, somebody else is selling, right? And I don't care if that background's green or whatever. There are times that a trade still comes because they stair step the other direction. Now, will you feel a little bit of heat if you go against the trend? The answer is probably yes on that. For instance, let's just give it a shot. Let's see if we can get something. We're going to do a PM2, breaks that swing right there. I'm going to go ahead and just short 2. Because that hit resistance pretty nicely. See it right there? Now keep in mind, this is an aggressive type trade, but it won't even fire until it actually turns that red. If it turns it red, it may not. Let's see, how many candles will you wait for when it hits resistance line? Well, keep in mind, Lewis, that when this hit this resistance line right here, that, they broke down pretty profusely, right? So when they hit that right there, you can actually short it the moment it hits it if you want to, and put a real tight stop just in case. Because see, this is still a short mid-band so far. Okay? Now notice that's still trying to trek up a little bit, but we've got our power meter turned on just in case it hits resistance there. If this one turns green, I'm going to turn it on instead. But you can't use a power meter type trade unless it's got an opposite. Like right now, see, it's red on power meter 1, so you can't get a short on that unless it turns green. If it turns green like that, I'll turn it on power meter 1 instead, and it would just have to take out that swing right there. Now keep in mind, this is actually taking out resistance a little bit. Okay, so you would still be long, obviously, and your stop would be underneath this swing right here. Now, since we already got our targets and everything, because we just did a scalp earlier, we're going to see if we can get another type of trade. Let's see, you have a high, you have a low. So far you have a lower high, but they've taken resistance out just a little bit. But you've still got a rose-colored midband, so we're still looking at shorts for the time being anyway. Now when that changes green, no, now it wouldn't be. See how that just turned green right there? Now we're looking for a retrace. Okay, everybody see that? Was rose, that's short, but green means you're looking for longs now. Okay, let's see if we can get another trade. Now when you've got basically swings on the left and swings on the right, you really want to do more scalping. Okay. Now, could you actually technically, if it took this out right here, could you short it? See that high, that low, that higher high? Could you short that? Well, if you do, you've got to really protect your coin just in case. Okay. But if that turns red, does that mean that, remember when we talk about if it breaks micro, will it go down and check medium? And the answer is usually yes, not always, but most times it is yes. Or since this turned green, you can just simply wait for it to retrace. I'd be looking for a predictor. Now see, I would probably take a shot at that just simply because it broke that, and I'd put my stop nice and tight, close of the bar. I'm risking 5 ticks on that trade. Will it get me? Possibly. Looks like it will. Not yet though. Not yet. Now this is actually what I consider to be, a fairly risky trade, because all you did is you broke lightning 1. Okay. Well, actually you broke even lightning 2 because they're both red. So this should work out. I think we'll be all right. We'll see. Here's your lightning 2 right here. Now usually I won't take this one because see, it's right there where you would want to buy this. See here at this predictor. So I'm going to scalp this a little more into this predictor like so. And the reason for that is because I'm actually going against the trend, but I broke my lightning 1. Okay. Now this trade would probably cost, well, it would cost you $150 if this does go against us, because we've got a 5 tick stop on it. Okay. Now let's draw on our charts and let's see where very possibly this could hit its head and give us a quick trade. And like I said, when you're sideways like this, you're going to want to get quickly. See, like that right there, for instance. All right. Notice how I just hit support right here where my line's drawn. And I'm going to go ahead and do just a quick scalper type trade because I'm in a range. I've got support, resistance here. That would be my first target. And resistance here would be my second target. Okay. And on this particular trade, your swing's all the way down here, but I wouldn't give it that much of a stop. You could actually give it to midband if you wanted to. I'll give it to midband. See, we did get a scalp on this side. Okay, but notice we're long over here off a predictor. And if this will give us a lightning at all, we'll go ahead and protect it. If that turns one more bar up, we should go green here. There you go. And I'd protect it right there. Like that. There you go. You just got you a scalp on that one too. Okay. Now your safest trade is actually what we call an ABC type trade. Okay. And also your safest trade is actually a mid-band trade. Mid-band or higher on a long, and mid-band or lower on a short. Okay. So let's see if we can get another trade. Let's draw on our charts. That's what we're here for tonight. Let's look to the left, trade the right. We got a predictor. Now, if we're going to get a breakout, we're going to have to break. This is what I'd be looking for. I'd be looking for a breakup and a pullback into support like that, and then a break up again. like so. Or I'd be looking if they break micro. See, they already broke it. They broke that swing right there, so they haven't checked this swing right here just yet. And they haven't checked, yeah, they checked here. So this is my sweet spot this time around, right in this area. Let's see if we can get something. And let's do it on the scalp one. We'll do it on the scalp one. We need an A, a B. We've got the A, we got the B with a lower high. Let's see if we can get a lower low. And I'd be looking right about mid-band right there. The reason for that is because we haven't had a mid-band trade yet. Not yet. It's got to be an ABC. See, this is one thing about this predictor right here when it's above mid-band. If you take that, just go for a quick scalp, because see this predictor now? It's saying it's going to be here instead. See how that predictor is just a little lower? Come on, mid-band trade. Now, this is another aggressive way to trade this, but keep in mind you don't have to go aggressive if you don't want to. You can actually always wait for at least a bar to close up. And this is actually going to be waiting for a bar to close up at least. Not quite to mid-band. Now, if they're going to head up at all, they cannot take this swing out right here. And we want a higher low. That's good enough for me. See it at mid-band? We'll take it. And we're just going for a scalp. And I would personally protect my coin on this just underneath mid-band, just in case this goes lower. Now, normally what you'll want to do is not have three at once on something like that. You could go ahead and take one at the mid-band, add another one when the bar closes, and then probably just do two. And you got, it looks like you're going to get a scalp there too. Look to the left to trade the right though. Always when you can see that you're in a sideways movement, check your swings. You got a swing right there. They've already tested it. Got a swing right there. They've already tested it. There's a swing right there. If they take it out, we're going to be out. Because see, so far that's a high, low, lower high, lower low, but we're still bouncing off support, so we're okay. See how my swing held? And I would leave my stop right there. Come on, give us, there you go. We got our target. Okay? Everybody see how to do that? Just draw on your charts. Now, when they're sideways like this, you know, you're not trying to go for gusto runners. We talk about this all the time in the room. You know, oh, this is actually going to go below mid-band now. Look to the left to trade the right. There's a swing right there. Still bouncing off mid-band, but let's just see if we can get in another trade. High, low, lower, high. We need an ABC again. So there's A, there's B. Let's see if we can get a C. Speed this up a little bit. Everybody see a trade setting up? What do you think about a phantom? Now this is going deep, but let me tell you something. I've watched this 1,000, probably more than 1,000 times. When you get a green mid-band, that first time into phantom is usually very, very close from what our people have told us. to an 80 to 85% probability trade. Okay, so we've done a midband. Let's see if we can get a phantom. And let's see what the retracement is also. 61%. That's going to be deeper though. That's going to be all the way down to 76. If it takes out 61, that is. Or we can get rid of everything and we can box this thing in. Where would our box be? Anyone? So you have got a little swing across here, but technically it's right here, right? So I draw a line here, drawn on my chart. And I'm going to look to the left to trade the right. See if there's any swings. Looks to me like they've already tested that one though. Yeah, they have. That's it, where they just tested it. How many of you are actually usually going short against like a green background and a green midband? Because I can tell you this, it's not a smart way to trade, because our software actually pretty much tells you when this is going to change trends. Now, we've got resistance right up here, okay? So we may not get anything more than that or even less than that. You know, you've got areas like here even. You know, this looks like it's going to be a little on the choppy side. But couldn't you actually just turn on like predictor and just see if we can get a trade? Let's just see if it works out. Now, if it craters, then okay. Where's our phantom right now? Right there. Everybody see it? You got a low here. You got a high. You got a lower low. But if they take this out, or they take this out for sure, let's see. Well, let's just go with Lightning 1. Let's just see if we can get it on Lightning 1 instead. Lightning 1's a little quicker because we're just using 4-range bars, not double 4-range bars. Watch for that to go green. If it does. Now, if this breaks down, what are we looking for, everyone? We're looking for a thrust down and a retrace, right? This is what we call boxing this in on a phantom right here. Let's see if it turns green. Not yet. Oh, there's a higher low. Now it'll turn green here instead. If it doesn't just roll over, that is. Should be green. There you go. There's your green. Put your stop just underneath the swing. And that's a phantom trade. 80 to 85% probability trade. That turns out to be a nice little trade, by the way. By the way, I took that trade. I showed it this morning in gold. I'm not going to let them take me out there. It's going to have to kiss that box. See that box right there? Always got to look at your lightning because they're going to come kiss it. See how they kiss that? Now, don't move your stops unless you know where it's going to hit. It may still get me. There you go. Got a nice little trade. Everybody see that? That's a pretty good way to trade, by the way. Now, until it gets out of this range, could you actually still play both sides of the coin? And the answer would be yes. Just be careful doing it, because there would be a little swing. If this gets a high, a low, and a lower high here, then this would actually turn to red, and I could actually even short it, or it's going to break up and we'll look for a different type of trade. See what it does. Still heading up so far. When they're sideways like this, you can trade literally both sides. There you go, you got it. Bingo. Everybody see that? Lightning, and what we were talking about earlier, remember? That's this. That's all that is, that broke. Now this is This is looking at a lot larger, but we're looking at lightning being, lightning 1, which simply broke that little swing right there, and it fired a trade for us. Now that it's in a sideways range, though, could we be looking the opposite way? You've got a low, you have a high. If this bar closes down, it's going to trigger lightning to actually know what it's looking for, because lightning simply looks for this right here. It looks for a little break. It looks for a pullback without taking out the previous low, like so. See where that's a higher low? And then it looks for this, where it breaks out. So where's lightning right now? Anybody? It's right there. That's if it doesn't take this out. Of course, keep in mind you've got support right under here. Technically, they shouldn't be able to take that out if we're going to head up, because you now have a low, a high, a higher low, and a higher high. So we should get a higher low again, or we don't want to take this out right here. But we can utilize our tools even in this choppy stuff right here, because what I'm looking for is more than likely a bounce off this support level and change that lightning to green. And let's see if it does it. There's support. There's your low. Remember, lightning 1 just has to have a bar up and a bar down. And the reason it triggers like that is because it's actually, see where you kind of go above the previous bar? So if this bar closes down, you're still going to get a higher low unless another bar closes down. Everybody see that? Now lightning is right here, right this very moment, I do believe anyway. Let's see if it is. Hopefully it's not all the way up here, because I won't take it. See if it goes green. That might not there, because this is a low and that's a high. We haven't had a lower high yet. If this closes down, we will. It closes up. Come on, close down. No, it's going to trigger here. I don't like that near as much. Reason for that is because, see, this is the one fallacy in lightning, is you have to have that bar down. Otherwise, it looks to the left. So this is a lightning swing to the left. See there how it just triggered? Okay, now I probably wouldn't have taken that one, but I just wanted to show you where it was in real time. Because if this would have done this little deal and pulled back, then we would have gotten our lightning swing. Okay? And that type of a breakout trade will usually cost you. Let's see if it costs us. Maybe not. If we get a higher low, it won't cost us. Yep, cost us. All right, yeah, and then goes off like a big dog. That was that 7:30 stuff. Let's see if we can get in again. Lightning 1. There you go. We just got lightning 1. Put our stop where at yet? Not anywhere yet. Here it is now. See it closing above there? Trying to. I'd pull it back just a little bit. Let it have a little bit of wiggle room until it pops up above there. Otherwise, it's going to get us. It got us. All right, let's go again. See if we can get a lightning swing. Need a lower bar. Come on, low. There you go. Now it'll break right here. That'll go green. But got to turn it on. Still going to do it, same spot. Got to close the bar though. Unfortunately, that's not going to fire until about right in through here, if it fires at all. If this bar would shut down, we're liable to get it where it's just at the line. See, fired above it. Still worked out though. What does everybody think about this? It's not a bad way to trade it. Okay. let's watch for a pullback and let's see if we can use lightning again. You want to see if we can use lightning one more time? And use your little predictors too. Let's see where it's going. Well, for one thing, I would have probably gotten a quick short so far, but that's a very aggressive trade. And that one would have bit me more than likely. Maybe not. When they break micro, they usually go down and check these medium swings. It's just amazing. It's almost like clockwork. So where's our next trade? Anybody on this chart? Let's look to the left to trade the right. And I've been on here for 1 hour. Let's see if everybody can get this now, because I do see the next trade, and y'all should too. Okay, everybody see it? Right on top of that swing. And our predictor. So this is a little sweet spot for a pullback. Let's see if we can get it. Still going kind of sideways so far. Look how that came right down to my line. I'd have already bought that myself because it came down exactly where I wanted it. Everybody see that? And does anybody remember the trade that was called on gold this morning in the room? Remember this little trade right here? We actually got this little trade in the room where it busted through that box and just headed up like a good big dog. Does everybody see the next trade on this chart even as we speak right now? Anybody not see it? Let's just pretend you're not in any trade yet, and I'm going to fast forward this, and you tell me if this doesn't do what I think it's going to do. Because I see this time and time again. Big thrust. Let's see if we can get it. All right. Right there. And right there. See that? That's a little late. I'm going to go ahead and buy it. See it right there on top of our swing? Now, could you box it in? Absolutely, you can box it in. Because keep in mind, what I was showing you here was a little bit more aggressive. But everybody see where you'd box this in right here? You'd box it in right here. See the down candle, the up candle? Just box it in. This is where you would box it, is right here. And you would get on that bar. Run your runner out of the way. And off she goes. Now, if you were in the room this morning, this trade was actually called. So, you know, this isn't just hokey pokey stuff. This is actually real-time stuff that you'll be able to actually see that you can trade like this. All right? I'm going to, well, it's too late. I missed it. See, it went red. I'm going to go ahead and close that out. There's a phantom trade, by the way. Now, I'm running this pretty quick, so I'm just doing this more just the way I run my 500 times a lot of times. There you go. Just got you another trade. I've got that running at 500, so we're probably not going to get another one. I see one, though. Everybody see it? It already broke. Resistance. We'll put a tight stop on it, though. That's already got our target. Everybody see why I did that? I was watching this meter right here. So what did it do? It did exactly what these charts did earlier. It broke. It came back and kissed, and it rolls. And that's what they constantly do. See how this came down below lightning, came back and kissed it, and rolled over. So what does everybody think? You want to try to trade this way? Let's see if we can get another trade. We'll go for a green if this, oh, I think I ran out of data. I'm out. I just ran this to 2:16 in the afternoon, so I'm flat. Does everybody see how to draw on your charts in real time. Everybody see how you can absolutely get in some really, really good trades like this? Because this does work, okay? It can definitely, definitely work. Now, of course, this was not, we weren't trading this because our room closes at 10 o'clock. So we were actually in here, right here, okay? So, but after the room closed, look at that phantom trade. That's that 85% probability trade again. And you can take it, you know, when you box it in and it breaks up, you put your stop in and off she goes and gives you a great trade. Okay. Right around mid band, you know, can you short these where they break these little lightning swings and trend lines and stuff? If you set it on like 7, 8s, and 10s for your scalps, probably so. Okay. Little phantom trade. Does anybody know what this did afterwards? Because I'd be looking for that little trade. If it was to go up at all, and it probably go up to here, hit its head. Anybody see that at all? Did it? Because I don't have any data now, but everybody see how to draw on your charts. You know, draw those lines on your charts, and it's amazing what it looks like. Let me just go over this real quick on this gold right here, and you'll see there's your lightning one. See how it broke? Lightning one broke. You know, your trim was heading up here. You know, you could box, you could box, you could box, you could box. You know, then it broke up here on your lightning 3. That's where we shorted it a little bit ago. And what is it doing right now? I have no idea, but high, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high. This is what I call your secondary medium, and usually that holds. And I'll just about bet you they hit their head right in through here or here and probably popped up again. Because the overall trend is still up. The micro trend, though, is down. Everybody see that? Okay. Well, we can go ahead and wrap for now. Let's see. Did I miss any questions, by the way? When you get in a trade, Paul, on your question, use those little micro swings, just like I showed there, and it makes a world of difference because there's times you could have a 10-tick stop become a 6-tick stop. You know, with the close of a bar, it might still be 10, obviously, but, you know, as long as they're stair-stepping the direction you're going, you just keep that stop accordingly, because when they break these micro swings, they will go and check, you know, higher swings. All right. So how do you tell micro from medium? I'll show you, Bill, on your question. This is actually micro right here. Notice how you have a high, you have a low, you have the same high, you have a higher low, you have a little lower high. Well, if you were to box this in, you'd be shorting it right there. See it? Now, keep in mind that this is still a long background, but see how this usually breaks, pulls and kisses, and rolls over. When they break micro, they usually go down and check these medium swings, which is what it's doing. And see, I don't know what it did after 215 or so, but judging by what it's looking like over here, unless they take this out, they're not really heading down, because that's your ABC. That's what I call your secondary swing. But does that mean you couldn't be short up here? You can be. Just be very careful when you short against the trend, because you're just going to be scalping. Okay? And if that type of trading doesn't, you know, float your boat, so to speak, then just simply look for these type of trades, because these are really good. I'm going to go over this one more time and then we'll wrap. These type of trades right here are really, really good. Just wait for, you know, where you start getting stair stepping, right? And you get pulling back into these mid bands, you box it in. You pull back into, you know, like predictors, you box it in. You pull back into mid band, you box it in. You know, this little trade in the room this morning, I believe, was actually boxed in also when Charles came in. Okay, and it's pretty amazing if you wait for the thrust and the pullback. That's actually your best trade. You can scalp trades though, and that's what I wanted to kind of show tonight, that you can actually scalp a trade. But if you do it, you gotta trust the lightning and then put your stop at the previous swing. All right. Everyone, thanks very much for coming. Hope you enjoyed it. And be sure and draw on your charts because, just to give an example, in the room this morning, we got this trade on gold right out of that little box. We opened the room right here, and I even called this trade on this little trade right here where we kind of boxed it in, remember? But if you even got in at the box, you got in pretty good price. And then here was another one right here. They can be monstrous, it can be nice trading. And we'll do it tomorrow for sure, okay? Everyone, thank you for coming. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day. And just remember that when you're looking at these charts like that and you draw on them, just look for this little pattern right here, because that's stair-stepping up and that's stair-stepping down. And it's pretty easy to trade that, because if you short it here and it kisses and rolls over, you got you a good trade, right? And you can also even draw trend lines on your charts. This little trend line here was absolutely broken for sure. Right across here, see where it broke it? That was right underneath those lows right there. So, even using trend lines, you can get some scalp trades. Okay? Thanks, everyone. We'll see you in the morning. Adios.